I'm gluing the seal back on the old fan. So the fan quit working. Jegs does not carry them in stock, and Summit has a ton of them. But turns out it's going to take 4 days to get it to me, and it's 2.5 hours away, 3 hours away. So I decided to go ahead and pull this one off to get it ready. I was going to pick one up on the way to the track tomorrow and just put it on there. So I was going to pull this one off. As you can see, it's pretty nasty there. And I just got to piddling around and messing with it and blew it out with air, and it started working. So it's very temporary, but I believe that just over the years of running and being under the car, it's got a ton of dirt in it. I blew a ton of shit out of it. I believe it was just packed full of stuff. The brushes were stuck, couldn't make good contact. Me blowing it out, and I spun it and blew it, and then I turned it on and blew in it and got everything out that I could. I didn't want to spray any like brake cleaner or anything through. So it's working for the time being. I'm trying to glue the seal back on it because it was all ripped off. The new fan will be here Monday, as long as they don't screw that up anymore. But that's UPS. I should have known. I thought I had a note in there at Summit to only ship FedEx to me here because UPS takes forever and FedEx is typically next day. And it's just the route that UPS goes whenever they leave there. But as long as all works well, we will have a fan on it. I was planning on, if all else fails, I was going to not run a fan. But I think we'll have a fan. If this does not work, I'm going to try and leave early tomorrow and swing by Summit up in Talmadge, as long as all goes well and we go to the Kaluna or whatever, to the old Thompson.
Because you fixed the tail lights on the RV now.
Yeah, we got tail lights, brake lights, turn signals. Everything seems to be working on the RV. Hell, the light in the trailer even works now.
So now he doesn't need somebody to follow him at this moment.
Get this glued on, get it on. I'll try and leave early. Or the plan was to try and leave early and pick up the fan on the way. If this one works, I'm not going to worry about that and just wait on the one that I've already paid for. So yeah, that's that. Other than that, I've got the new water pump on it. Coolant's full. I got to heat it up one more time.
What's the purpose in heating that up?
Just so everything expands to get the air out, percolate the air out. I like to get it hot and then put the cap on. So if there's any pressure built, it doesn't push on any kind of gaskets or anything. And I've got a heavy duty radiator cap on here, so I like to get it hot. That way it basically, what it does is it creates a vacuum in the cooling system rather than pressure. Whenever it's warm, it's at neutral pretty much. There's no pressure in it. So that's that.
Anything else you updated?
I don't know. I'm excited to go to a new place and race.
So let's talk about this race a little bit.
You're going to be dumping super glue everywhere there.
I got it.
Go ahead and keep going while we're talking here.
So about this race, because a lot of people don't know about it.
I don't even know about it.
Everybody kept asking us to go. It's put on by D-Team Racing. Chris Lane's going to be flagging, from my understanding. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. You know more about it than I do, babe. I'm just trying to make it day to day.
But as far as the surface, you want to go over why that's different?
Because it's never been raced on. I don't even know what it looks like. We're out of super glue. Yeah, I don't even know what it looks like. It's going to be a surprise to me when I get there. And we all know that I haven't had this car on a whole lot of surfaces. So depending on what it is, I mean, we may not even do good. I will give it my best educated guess. And hopefully we make it through first round to have a base to go off of, and that's pretty much what we're going to do. I'm going to give it a good guess, and then keep swinging if we keep going.
Now we have no testing done this week. We didn't get a
None,
chance to
0.
test.
So we've got a total of 5 on the back side, 3. We got 4, 5. We got 9 passes on the car. 3 was not in competition, but they were just random bullshit roads, kinda. And then the 5 in competition and 1 on the street, or 5. Yeah, 6 of them was competition. So, and then we're going back to do some more competition. It seems to be the way we're going this year. We're just going to try and dial it in during eliminations or however. But seems to be going pretty good. I'm extremely happy with where we're at with the car, how fast it's come around. We've struggled, we've fought, and we've worked our tails off. But the struggles, I didn't expect to be where we're at right now until probably next season, honestly, or the end of this season. I'm happy with it. I feel like we're just going to get faster. I have made a ton of changes. Took the bypass regulator out of the fuel pump because we're having a lot of fluctuation in the fuel pressure. And it's just bouncing all over the place. So I put a new bypass regulator in it. Went from a heavy spring to a light spring. I've done everything I could there, and now the parts are up on the car. Now I've taken the bypass regulator out of it back here at the pump to bypass into the fuel pump, or into the fuel cell. I had bought a new regulator that I thought I had one of. So I put that on, run a new return line after the fuel log. That way everything supplied to the fuel log is a consistent flow. That did not work. I don't know if it was the regulator wasn't enough or what, but it was, the thing was 50 PSI. I couldn't get it down low enough. So I took the regulator out, and I've got some footage. I'll show you. Jegs was closed. I had nowhere to go last night to get a fitting to adapt from the fuel log to Dash 8. So I took some stuff that I had here, I cut it up, cleaned it, and welded it together to make a fitting. But it seems to be working. We have, 25 PSI going to the front, or 25 PSI on the main line. Flowing one kit, it's dropping down to 23. I do not have a way to flow 2 kits to see where that puts it, but that is with a 73 jet. So I don't know if all the jets, or all the jet, it should drop more than that when the kit's on, I would think. And I don't know what jet to put in it to simulate what I've got in the kit. But I've always flowed off a 73 jet. Everybody's always told me to flow off of a 73 jet, so that's what we're doing. It's got extremely high pressure, and we were way lean. So I'm hoping this fixes it. There we have the fitting that I had to make there, and what I did to return my fuel to the fuel cell. It's after the regulator. We're holding a steady PSI just sitting here. I'm not sure what it's going to do when the nitrous is on just yet. It's looking like I'm likely not going to be able to do any testing, as I don't have any nitrous and I don't know where to get any right now. So kind of just gonna wing it. And it's Monday morning to see if I can find a part number on my water pump, because my water pump pretty much took a shit at the race this weekend. And I open the trailer, pull out the tire and everything I've got stuffed around the back of the car, and go to lay down. I want to show you what I saw on the trailer floor that had essentially dripped off the car. So you can see it. We've got just rubber dripped off everywhere. Shoot over here to the other side. That's all fine and dandy. I've had rubber fall off, but like some of this stuff is goo, which is still gooey from the race. You can see how gooey it is. Some of it's even still shiny. If you look at the bottom of the car, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. You can see that it's just still gooey. I don't know what people are mixing or what caused that, but I think that's a big reason of why Uncaged was so gooey for so long. Like, it never did get the goo out of it. It's just unbelievable. Yeah, so there you have that. Like I said, my water pump bearing or whatever took a shit. It got really loud. So, and my temperature sensor is not working. It has never worked since I put it on. So I'm gonna try and get that taken care of so we know what the temperature is. With the water pump going bad, I didn't want to run it any longer than I had to, so I started pushing it or pulling the car up to the front to race, starting it up when it was time to pull up and do the burnout, and shutting it off at the end of the track, dragging it back. We're also having a fueling issue that has been brought itself to light. Hell, I don't know, whenever it was, we started looking into it and making changes to the fuel pump and whatnot, and it just hasn't gotten fixed. So I'm gonna also focus on that. Try to get some fuel in it. I've got a ton of fuel supposedly going to it, but it's still really lean. So, all right, so I've been having some fuel pressure issues. Decided to try this regulator, returning after my regulators for the engine. Got the bypass regulator off, which I replaced with a new one because I had this issue. Everything's mounted and returned and all that good stuff, and I turned it on and it's like over 50 PSI, even with the regulator all the way down. So I'm gonna try to open line it, which I was suggested to do, and then put restrictors in the line, but to get the fuel pressure I want. But Jegs is closed. I've got plug fitting here that came out of it, and this one that is the wrong size thread. So I already started cutting. I'm going to try to cut that off and weld it to this, drill the hole and thread it on there. Here we go. I'll try to clean that up with a file and use a file for the most that I can. Try to keep any contaminants out of it, I guess. I'm drilling the center out of it. I got them all trimmed or shaved up, cleaned up, I guess. Got the hole in it, got it cleaned up where it's going to weld together. We clean that up where I just drilled it with the file. There we go. We'll weld her together like that. At least that's the plan. It ain't the prettiest, but hopefully it don't leak. We shall see here shortly.